Welcome, everyone, to, I guess I would call this a live episode of Weiss Advice, where I am the host of the popular podcast Weiss Advice. We've been blessed to have Ira Zlotowitz, who is our special guest today. We've had him on the show. We had him in our uh, amazing meetup that we used to have, the Real Estate Connections virtual meetup. And now we are joined today again with Ira, who will be sharing with us an incredible tool that is launching today. Okay, the beta version is launching today. If you hear the clicking, that's just me letting people in from the waiting room because people keep joining as we speak. Very excited to be here. Again, my name is Yona Weiss. If you don't know me, now you do. And we're just going to get the ball started. I'll give Ira a quick minute to introduce himself. He is obviously the founder of G-Parency, as we can see in the background, an icon in the commercial real estate industry, in the lending industry. And I'm just excited to share my platform to allow him to kind of share this launch together today. So, Ira, without further ado, let's hear what
So,
this what we're working on.
Yona, thank you very much. I'm actually surprised to say, for those who don't know Yona Weiss, I thought everyone knows you, but I guess there's a few people who actually don't. So I really appreciate this. So I know that really, if we're rolling out something in tech, we should both be dressed differently for that, based on all the tech, platforms roll things out. But we'll go with this way. So I'm really grateful to God that's, he just put a few of these recent ideas over the last couple of weeks into my head. And the, I say when you plan for some big things, they say, man thinks and God laughs. And and over here's something that came almost like by mistake, that God put an idea in my head. And over the last few weeks, it became game changing and became full connective tissue. So, as someone who, like yourself, who's the king of cost seg, and you always want to sell to commercial real estate owners. You do podcasts, you do networking events, you provide value. Then when a person needs your service, they should think of you. And that's the same challenge I have. I have Parency. We are mortgage assurance. For $4,500, we guarantee the best financing. We shop your deal, guarantee the best financing. Then a person could close with their broker or direct. And how can we provide value to that owner in between? There's no better time to help someone that owns real estate at the time that they're looking to buy real estate. If you're helping them at that moment, and that is the time that hopefully when they're looking for financing, they're looking for cost seg, looking for your service, they'll be there at that time. So as everyone knows, started a couple of years ago. I was pushing AI. And people said, AI is not going to affect anybody. It's not going to make any impression. What are you talking about? It makes so many mistakes. And I, pushed my son, who was graduating from, he was in school for IT, to switch over and focus on AI. And he opened up a company. And today, thank God, it's no longer a future, it's for today. And I was talking to a few clients, and the clients were telling me that they really want to beef up their acquisition side. They think the market's starting to heat up, more deals are starting to make sense. And that part of the business is all about tools and automation and timing, and they wish they could, beef that up a little bit. So I said, like, why don't you hire someone like my son to do it? And their answer was, I'd like to, but I'm not ready to spend a few $1,000s a month. And then on top of that, spend a lot of time. I don't know what I have to teach. I don't know what technology to teach them. And I said, innocently asked, I said, what would happen if I went out and I found 20 other real estate buyers, owners, syndicators, GPs that would love to build this together. Each pay $200 a month. You roll the dice together. I'd be in. Okay. I hung up the phone thinking, I'm not going to be following up with this person. Maybe a couple of weeks, who knows what happened. God had different plans. And there's a couple of weeks ago only, by that Friday, over 20 committed to be part of the first 20. So we could just start to engage at the $4,000, cancel it, if they want month by month, and, let more people come on board. The beauty of this product, which I'll go into the details, is that the more owners involved, the better it is, because there's more money and resources to build better tools and quicker tools. As opposed to, it's not a data play where, oh, I have a secret where I get my deals from. I don't want anyone to know. And we embarked on this, and we started to embark on it. And so that's how this thing came to be, to where we're at. So we called it Avery GPT. Avery, there's no reason A, it just starts with an A. Someone in the office came up with the name. Avery GPT, like Chat GPT. And we did the launch today. So this it's a little bit of a long-winded background how we got here. And I think that, you'll with the questions, how you want to ask the questions, what it's doing, what the plan is, that works, and I'll go from and I'll go from there.
Yeah, we're very excited to learn more about what this Avery GPT does. Obviously, that's a little bit of the background story. Very exciting to learn, kind of how this came about, and really how any tech company or any new product comes about is you have a need, you have a pain point, and I think a lot of people out there are feeling this. I think everyone on this call, and you guys can use the chat if you want. Let me know if this is a pain point for you. Just write, yes in the chat. If this is, using AI and using GPT to help build your real estate business or help better your real estate business, just let me know in the chat. Like say, hey, yes, that's me. Because this is really what we're here to learn is this is another tool, and I think a tool that maybe doesn't, it doesn't really exist out there at this point. And the fact that, like you said, it's going to be really contingent on the community itself, right? Meaning the more people that go into it, the better it's going to be, and the more everyone is going to get value out of it. And in the end of the day, I think all of us are trying to, um, add value in every step of the
Yeah.
way. So, without further ado, I'd love to kind of share my screen. Maybe we can, Ira, you can walk
I,
us
I
through.
I think I think if I think if we take a little bit, I'll get a little bit of a background.
Yes.
I have a few steps, and then, like I said, share the screen. The one beauty, normally when there's when they make these tech presentations, they're talking about futuristic. Over here, we're going to show a live example, which we went through this morning, me and you, and we'll have to show people how live. So I think just to talk about at the high level first, what it's going to do, and what the pain point that people have. So whether someone is a one-person shop and they wear multiple hats in their acquisitions and raising equity, or whether they have an acquisition team, the pain point that they all feel is that there's a certain amount of deals they could juggle at a time. It takes time. You get an email in, you have to do back and envelope underwriting, you have to make offers, you have to do some basic due diligence, then you have to go nurture. How many deals can you juggle at a time? I'm telling you interesting. There's a fellow, David Lichtenstein, who a Lightstone Group, to had billions of dollars worth of commercial real estate, and he told me that there's one thing that people say all the time: I want off-market deals to buy. He says the best deals he bought were on LoopNet. I said, what? Everyone says garbage is on LoopNet. He says, no, you have it wrong. Real estate trades either instantly, within a day, because someone's desperate, or it goes on the market and it stays on the market for 4 to 6 weeks to 4 to 6 years. The key is to be there when the price matches your price. Because every owner has a story. I would have bought this deal had I known at this price, but you're one person, you can't nurture everything. So imagine if you had a tool that the minute a deal came in, it scraped your emails, put it onto a dashboard. Then it did back of the envelope underwriting for you, and it came up with a price. If the broker, you make an offer for you. If the broker liked the offer, you start doing basic due diligence. Go to the county website for taxes. Ask my broker what the rates I should underwrite for. Ask this service provider, for some sort of a price point. If the price is way off, nurture every week, nurture until the price makes sense. Now, with a tool, the intended plan of building Avery, we do it again. There's a group of people who have a visionary who said, you know something, I want to come in now. And they came in at $200, not $199 a month. Now it's $249. We put in, if a GP logs in and says types in Weiss as a code, you can still get back to $199 price. Who says, we're visionaries. Let's build it. We'll try it for a few months. If it doesn't work out, saving only spent a couple $100 a month instead of a couple thousand a month. But all these things are buildable. And imagine now you could have one person in your office, instead of tracking and juggling 10 deals, could juggle 1,000 deals. Why can't they track every deal in America? Put a price point on every single deal. When the price hits, you're ready to buy that price. That's the idea of what Avery should be able to go ahead and do. In the process, and this is where we're talking to Yona came through, is in the process, when it comes time to ordering title, cost segregation, insurance, you could tell Avery who your vendors are, and then say, Avery, I deal with the king of cost seg, Yona Weiss. So we'll tell Yona, I'm buying this building, and get some estimates from Yona. So it could do that work. So this alone was an amazing idea. When I'm talking to owners, they love this idea. I never had so quick a yes and pay. It's not like, oh, I love you an idea, but going back, no, yes and pay. And the two responses I'm getting from people, the majority that are hearing it say, yes, I'll roll the dice. The second come to the table and say, I love it. I'd rather pay a little more when I see it a little bit. That's the difference of the two. How much of a visionary and how much FOMO do you have to just roll the dice? And I recently started offering a credit back guarantee. I say, if you try this for a few months, it doesn't work, we spent the money, but I'll give you a credit next year towards transparency. So that made it easier on more people to say, you know something, let me roll the dice. What's that kind of money? I would hire an employee. So, but here's where the next game changer really was the biggest game changer for service providers. Is that right now every service provider, myself and Yon included, and I see a few of the names on the call there, some even competitors, is we wake up every morning with two things going through our mind. How do we get more sales? And when ChatGPT and AI takes over, am I going to become irrelevant? Like, how is that going to work? Like, what happens to me and my business, and how do I get business? I know how this land, the lay of the land works, but what's going to change? Avery's coming along and building an AI Rolodex. So it's funny, those under 30 say Rolex, above 30, they know what we're talking about. So an AI Rolodex, and this AI Rolodex is going to allow for free every single service provider to update what they do, the factual information, and an elevator pitch. And we're offering that's free. And we're also offering an option where they could pay a measly $500 for the year, and they could link themselves to every transaction that they do, say how great they are, say what's special about that transaction. And this is how the game goes. We are building this, what's called with GEO. Everyone heard of SEO, search engine optimization? There's GEO, generative engine optimization. We are building the Rolodex that everything you tell the Rolodex about yourself, Avery's confidential, it's all about you. But the Rolodex part is going to be built that it's going to be discoverable by ChatGPT and Claude and all the AI models. We're building in that format. So here's the coolness of this whole thing. Not only will the minute you sign up, Avery will work, I'm going to show you the demo. Aside from that, over time, it should be discoverable. You'll be able to show up on ChatGPT. Just like SEO, you never know for sure. You can never really know for sure here. But based on all the geniuses that this is what their space is, say as follows. High probability, very high probability when someone asks your name, who is Yona Weiss, you'll show up on ChatGPT and these other AI models over time. High probability that if you link yourself to a property, all the properties you're involved in, whether you're a roofer or mortgage broker or title or a lender, if someone's doing due diligence in real estate and they say, tell me about 123 Main Street, it could start listing all the people that are connected because nowhere else online are you really linked. Maybe a couple of deals here and there, you link yourself somewhere on a website. But here you can link every transaction you ever did. You can link yourself to it. So you're connected to that property. One of the things we're going to be doing to make it SEO and GEO ready is we're going to be creating lists so that when someone goes to ChatGPT, the next way you search is who's active in this area. So if I'm in North Jersey, who's active? I'm able to go based on all the information that the Rolodex has about you and be able to bring up that information. So I just want to show you a cool direction. So Yona, if you want to share your screen, Yona
Yeah.
went on this one. It's AveryGPT.com. That's where this is where if you're a service provider, just to show you the back end how it went.
Yeah, one second here. Well, for some reason it's not. Yeah. So click this AI Rolodex here in the top corner.
Right. So
Built
if
for
you
AI
scroll down a little,
visibility.
if you scroll down a little bit, where the options are, because everyone could log this on themselves. So
Yeah,
okay,
for free. Give Avery your info.
oh. So right there, a little further it says free. So what Yona did this morning is he went on to the free and he just filled out about himself. He's going to do it now. He filled out information about himself. Now
Right.
go back to the home page, the Avery page.
Yeah, Avery
So
GPT.
here's the coolness on the simple thing. This is Avery. So the beginning of actual Avery, what Avery's up to today for the GP, for the syndicator, is we just started building the chatbot. We're in the middle of taking in from all the GPs that are signed up. They're sending us the way they track their deals so we could come with a best practices on behalf of all of them. We're doing a mock-up of how to track their deals and start getting it that AV GPT will be able to be set up to ask questions on each person's own deals. But in the meantime, the first thing with the chatbot works, if you go, who I don't know, not yet who's the course say king, because it's not
Let's try
totally,
it. Let's
I don't,
see.
am I, okay,
Let's
okay,
see. Let's try it. Avery's
okay.
typing. We don't know. We're trying out new stuff here. This is
Yeah, 100%.
Cossack King gets thrown around a lot in CRE circles, but it's not an informal title. If you're looking for a top tier Cossack agent provider, I can search. Okay, so he doesn't yet know me, but with time, maybe we'll get there.
Okay, so I
Uh,
think if you go I think if you ask it, who does Koseg in New Jersey?
okay, who does Cossack in
Because
New Jersey?
again, this thing just started, so because I don't know how many people are on there. My guess is that's probably just you. But
Okay, there we go. Yona Weiss, Madison
Yona Weiss.
Specs. Got my email,
But
phone number, website, LinkedIn, covers New Jersey and nationwide across all these different sectors. You want me to find a few more?
no, but I'll tell you like this. Here's the beauty of this in any language. Can you please tell me about Yona? Please tell me about Yona Weiss. Now, if Yona would update the deals he did, you could ask it, what deals did Yona do in and pick the location. Please tell me about Yona Weiss in Spanish.
Okay. So it can speak Spanish also. That's great.
Every
Multilingual.
language. Every language.
Oh, aquí tienes un breve. I don't speak Spanish so well, but fine. So it tells us all about Yona Weiss. Ah, very nice. Okay. Activo en LinkedIn. Trabajo con un pila. Okay. I haven't
So
spoken Spanish in like
this
20
goes in
years.
every language. This goes in every language. This is showing you the instant when someone's a service provider, instantly they're going to be able to come here and show up on Avery. And over time, it's going to since it's going to be discoverable and with GEO, it's going to be able to be shown up over time on all the AI models. That's the plan as of right now with it's being built. But think about we're opening up the door for a GP. A GP is going to be able to ask questions on their own deals. Like how many times does a GP say, what was that deal I saw from a certain broker in a certain area? Ask the question, it does the search. This Avery will be the future of how you communicate in every deal. Can you please go ask Yona to go get me a koseg? I want someone else. I have a title guy. He's not available today. Who's another title guy in that area? Who's someone
Right.
that does roof, who does boil? All the service providers, I'll be able to start doing those tasks for you. But it's going to start from when an email comes in. And the biggest question I get from people is like, let's say I don't want to use all the services of Avery as it's built out. I only want to use certain parts. No problem. It's not an all or none. It's whatever parts you want to use. You have available to everything that Avery has to offer. You use the part. So Avery is very secure. The Rolodex part of Avery, where the service providers are coming in, that's open. And truly, the more people that get involved, it benefits everybody else on the algorithm. And the uniqueness of the whole system is that what makes you special. Every real estate owner is special. Avery's not messing with where you buy, the price you're willing to pay, how you personally underwrite a transaction, where you get your equity from, where you get your debt from, how you structure things. That's unique. But all these other steps you can now start tracking. The billion-dollar question I was discussing with Fiona offline is what happens when everyone has similar type of tools
Right.
and everyone has access to track every deal in the country. Then what happens to real estate? What happens to the values of real estate? That's like the one thing I think about is that real estate prices go down because you take a lot of fat out of the system. Or no, now a lot more people can start investing in real estate so much easier, and there's more competition for that. So these are the things I think about, like what happens when these things go out. So that's why the more I think about it, that's why some owners say, Ira, it's like Amy put on the line. I'm not sure where this thing is going, but for a couple $100 a month with a credit back guarantee, together with another 20, 30, 40, and we keep growing this, which is just launching now. This is like pre the website being launched today. We have several dozen that committed and or paid already, then and more joining daily. Then this is the way. Let's tackle this thing together. And the
Okay.
more is truly benefit everybody.
All right, so
So
let's talk a little bit about what are the main things for someone who is, let's say, an equity raiser or someone who is, dealing with their, like you mentioned, acquisitions, right? You talked about the service providers and the Rolodex, and that's amazing. Anyone who does that, that's free. You're just getting your name out there in the whole internet, and also in GPT for everyone to use. And obviously, there's true value there. The value for the syndicators, for the equity raisers, for the acquisitions people. How is this going to, like you says here, move faster, track smarter, scale better? Some
so
actionable
the,
steps.
again, so the vision for it and all these things exist. It's just a matter of putting the building it out. Um, is that let's talk about the actual steps. The intended steps are as follows. Step one starts with the first step when you get a deal. It's scraping. So when you get a deal, every time you get an email in, they'll be able to search your emails and see you got a deal in from a broker or wherever you get your listings in from. And then it'll be able to take that instead of you putting it onto a spreadsheet, the dashboard will put it automatically onto the dashboard. That's number one. Someone who's super secretive and don't want someone getting into the emails, even with all these are not our tools. These are like however it works together with Gmail setting these things up. Some
Hmm.
people you want to build it or no. When I get an email and when I get an email in, I don't want you to come to my email box. I don't want Avery to come in. What I want instead is I'll email to Avery the ones that you add to my list. Okay, you can start that way. Step two is that imagine if you, I tell people, imagine if you hired a VA, a virtual assistant. What would you do with that virtual assistant? You'll tell them, go into my email and put this into the spreadsheet. Okay, then you'll teach them my multifamily deals, go into like the GParency calculator, use the quick back of the envelope underwriting, use these assumptions, pull these numbers from the OM, and then tell me what it works for. Avery could do that in a second. And it'll tell you you might want to offer for this building 8 million for. You could review it and decide, hey, I like that number, or let's tweak it. Let's talk. Either you could talk to Avery to go back and forth, or you'd go through the actual calculator yourself, old school,
Right.
new school. Like, and at that point, if you're interested in moving forward, Avery will be able to send an email from your email, or come from you to the broker in your style and how you talk. You'll either have what Avery sets up, or you'll be able to have it coming from you to the broker on a nurtured basis. Make the offer. And the broker comes back and says, no, sorry, he's not going a dollar below. You're 8.3, a dollar below 7.8. I mean, 8.8. Okay, so you can decide, forget about it, or no, nurture. Be in touch with the broker. Go to the broker's website once a week, see if something changes. And in the background, Avery will just keep doing this work. And you might get a notification from Avery 6 months later. Hey, you know, rates dropped, the price went lower, there's better income now. Now it starts making sense because now they're at 8.6, you're at 8.5, you're close enough. Do you want to deal with it?
Right.
That's on the nurturing side. If it's on the positive side, it starts doing the beginning of due diligence. The beginning of due diligence is, hey, could you go to the county website, check the taxes? Could you go to the county website? Could you go call up, email my insurance broker to let me know what I should underwrite for insurance for this property? Call up email GParency. No, I'm looking for this deal. I want a mortgage broker. Which mortgage broker is active in this area? And Avery could recommend a few mortgage brokers. It could recommend the lender directly. It could, whatever service provider. I'm building this not as a product of GParency that no competitors could come in. This is like an open source. The only way this is going to be successful, Avery, if it's purely open with the best interest of the GP. So the vision of GParency was built on GP transparency. That was always the play. So that's where it's gonna allow those steps of the process. So
Right.
the beauty is it could, because of that, now it gets to this point, they want to make an offer, it starts accepting it. As of right now, phase one, we're stopping here as far as the acquisition side. As far as the raising equity side, at this point, it's going to do the similar steps. Almost every syndicator has a list of their own. Again, it's not a data play. Down the line, if we have ideas to help raise equity, this first step is going to do the steps of the process. If somebody, to give a shout out to Alexi, there's people who help people raise money. That's what they deal with. Do the same thing. Would you like me to send this deal over to blank and see if they'll have any investors for you? Whatever the steps you would take, Avery will be able to do on your behalf. If you have a list of 100 LPs, 200 LPs, it could send out that email on your behalf and then field the questions and go back and forth.
Right.
So that's the first phase. Is the plan to eventually get involved in asset management? Like, why should Avery stop? Keep building, of course. As Avery has more GPs subscribing and the new GPs start paying more money for it, they can engage. We could hire more developers and programmers, and don't forget, it also the cost to build gets cheaper. So as time goes on, you can have Avery just keep doing become your true AI assistant for commercial real estate and
Right.
chatbot for the whole commercial real estate space.
Awesome. We do have a few questions here in the chat I want to cover. I do want to be mindful for time, so love if everyone does have questions. We'll try to cover as much as possible. But I want to make sure everyone is staying for the main meat of the subject. So, first question from Jacob was, where do you see the attainable low-hanging fruit in the early stages of Avery?
So great question. So the it's really a blend of what do people want us to work on first. So it seems that after we're going to work out, we got Avery up, so the heart and the brain is here. We can start training it. Okay, like you could ask Avery, what do you do? Right, it'll answer some of those questions now. Then we're going to build the dashboard so that you could put deals on there yourself or through Avery and be able to download it straight to your own Google spreadsheet. Once I have a foundation of where that data is stored and hooked up and backed up on a map based, so it could talk to Avery. That's the first thing as a foundation. But from there, it seems that the majority of those that are part of the initial group of GPs want Avery to do the back of the envelope numbers quickly because they feel that's the best low-hanging fruit, saves them time, and they have plans for other things now. And if they're doing a deal, this will save them a lot of time. They can just like drag and drop an OM, and then it'll give them the numbers right away with the
Right.
IRR is all the returns. The second thing is going to be the nurturing. That's what seems to be the second best thing is that once we agree to this is the price, go into a nurture and keep nurturing until if anything changes. And
Yeah,
then
it
from
makes
there
sense.
in the process, right? That's again we're following the crowd, right? And now as more people sign up, there's more resources. So things that might have not been available until January or February might be now start becoming available in February time.
Very cool. Okay. First, next question from Michael was, can you explain more what the service provider gets for the $500 you mentioned, and what does this mean? Link yourself to all deals for ultimate visibility. That's kind of what the tagline was over there.
Okay, so if you don't mind, based on this, I think I'm going to be addressing John's answer first. I'm going to
Okay.
address
Yeah, let's
John's
do
first
that.
to get this.
Question was, who is vetting the service providers and the information they submit to Avery?
Okay, so this is obviously going to become the big trillion-dollar question, right? How we train it, how it works, and that part. But the starting point is you also have to realize that whoever's coming on board here is looking, it's not like it's a normal case. You go onto TikTok and say some vile comment because no one knows who you are. So someone's only going to want to lie because they want to get business back to themselves. So right off the bat, if someone's caught lying, they're off. So there is a pain gain system. There's going to be ultimately a system that if someone's going to say, I was the roofer or I was the mortgage broker, I was the title guy on 123 Main Street, that the ultimate source of truth is going to be the owner. So there will be a level of notification that an owner will get. By the way, just want to let you know, like someone logs into your account, like just let you know that someone claims that they did blank on your building. If it's not true, the owner will have the final source of truth
Right.
for that fact. The system is going to be, think of it like a human. This is a very important piece of the puzzle. How are you going to decide? I was talking to Yona Wise before. People decide, like, let's say now after this, 100 cost guys come up here and they're doing all the deals. Like, just because that's Yona Wise's number 100, it goes to them. How does it work? I'm training it the same way I was brought up, is that have gratitude to people who help you. Every one of us on this call here, when you came into your career and I asked you for a service provider, who do you refer? As long as the person's not bad, if the person's good, you give a few names. The person at the top, you can say, listen, if everything's the same, try to use blank. They helped me early in my career. I have a mutual relationship with them. If there's a problem, I'll stand by you. Bottom line is, if Yona helped Avery early in Avery's career, then there's going to be a training that we give more credence to what Yona if everything's even. Now, if
Right.
Yona never did a deal in Texas, someone wants a deal in Texas, it's going to go from there. So there's going to be a training. Same thing. You'll be able to ask it. You'll be able to ask Avery, are any of the other clients using Yona? What do you know? What are the buildings in the area that they do? So it's more of a guide in how it works. But just think about what AI is going to. So a lot of those questions, a lot of the questions, John, you're asking, will over time just self play itself out how the world is going to work.
Right.
With that being the case, now I could flow into Michel's question. There are companies out there that do SEO, the GEO. They tell you, hey, you want to get somewhere? Think about Yona. Why is Yona accessible now on ChatGPT? You know why? Because he's making these podcasts, he's providing value, he's going out to events, and he's putting out LinkedIn videos. He's all over the place. So it has to be picked up. And other people just sit back and just want to write a check somewhere. So there are companies that come to you and say, hey, for 5 grand a month, 7 grand a month, we are the experts. No one's the expert yet in GEO, but they claim they're the expert. And they said, work with us. Over time, we'll get you ranked. And people roll the dice with thousands a month. You
Right.
might wake up 6 months later, they luck out, they don't luck out, who knows? I'm coming and saying, listen, my business is I want you parenting deals. I'm not looking for this other part. That's not my business. My business is that hopefully if I help a service provider, they can refer me to an owner that's interested in Avery. Or that owner when they need a mortgage. I help you. It's a relationship. That's how people do business. People provide value. And I want to start by providing value first. I'm going to give you free exposure here. So the $500 will allow you unlimited to talk about yourself for the next year. Unlimited that every time you did if you're a roofer, oh, I just did a roof on 123 Main Street. Talk about what was special about that roof. And you could keep talking about it all day. What you want, a couple of documents, you can upload pictures, you can upload whatever you want. So I don't know about the pictures because that's I take that back. There's documents. I take that back. I'm not sure. So you could talk to it all day long what you want. And the idea then becomes is that you ask going back into what John wrote. So because you're linked to the properties, people in real estate are focused on location. So now someone could say, who is the most active roofer in Texas, in Houston? And we'll just be able to rank it by all those roofers in our system. So Avery's going to answer, according to what I know from my Rolodex, these are the top three. Would you want from these three, or would you like me to search the wider web to find out more? The same way like a human. Same way you talk to your assistant. That's how the world is going to work. And what I think is crucial for every service provider is make sure you're hooked up to a system, not just Avery 1.1, 1.0 is what I described. Avery 2.0 is that when someone's going to want to order Koseg, they're not going to want Avery to email Yona, who's going to email his office, who's going to upload into the system. They're going to want to set it up where I'm going to go, Yona's going to, like an API, Yona's going to say, every time Avery someone wants Koseg, here, let Avery go straight into my backend and upload it to request. Because that's what's going to happen on Uber and Lyft. When I tell my assistant I need to go to the airport, I don't tell my assistant to order me an Uber or Lyft. My assistant knows that a car should be ready at this time. If this and whatever makes it easier for the assistant. ChatGPT is going to work the same way. You can tell ChatGPT, I need a ride. If ChatGPT is hooked up to the back end of Uber, you can be sure a high probability you're going to be getting an Uber ride is going to come to your door versus if it's going to have to log into Lyft the old-fashioned way. So not only do you want to get visible to the world, you want to also make sure that you actually start becoming compatible and connected to the world. Because we're going to move into a world where your agent's going to talk like, your office will look like my office, your agent's going to talk to my agent and make sure
Right.
those agents become very, very compatible. So if
Absolutely.
the answer wasn't clear, then please feel free to elaborate if anyone has any other questions as well.
Ira, if you would, if you could, maybe just the last couple of minutes here, if we don't have more questions, just a high level summary, because I know some people joined a little late, some people weren't here for the whole time, but high level, just a couple minute, just kind of recap of what we're seeing here, what we're going to see going forward with this new incredible tool.
So the high level summary, thank you again. The high level summary is that the initial 20, and now it's more than that, but the initial 20 came together and said, hey, let's stop building Avery. And for that benefit, they came in at the 199, and now the next group is coming in at 249. For those that are gonna sign up, if any GPs want, and they use over the next couple of days, they can type in Weiss as the coupon code, they'll get them for the same 199. And with that, we are going to be building over the next several months. We're going to be building, the intent is to build where Avery will be able to help you on your whole acquisition. From the time you get an email of a deal until you go to contract and the equity raising, it will help you with all those steps of the process. And we anticipate it will take several months to build out all the foundational pieces, and it'll keep being released in time. So an owner, a GP has a choice. Do I want to come in now with the perk of not just Avery being built, just to see what the other 20, 30, 40, 100 real estate owners, how they track their deals, crowdsourcing of information. Number two is as things rolled out, early market advantage. Number three, you get locked in for the next 18 months. And just in case you're not happy, you don't move into January with us, I'll give you a credit back guarantee to transparency. That's on the GP side. And it's to help you do diligence as well. On the other side of the coin is that every single service provider on an individual level can come on for free and they could say what they do. And you'll appear on Avery. And over time, you should appear, it's discoverable, you should appear on ChatGPT and on the other AI models. Just like this SEO, this is GEO, we're building it for that will show up. But if all that you tell us, old school directory, my name is Yona Weiss, and this is what I do, what is it worth? Okay,
Right.
you could put a 500 character description. But if you want the $500 per person or $1,000 unlimited for a company, allows you to go and say, link yourself to every single property that you did and when you did it and a story about it if you want. So this way, when people ask ChatGPT more specific cases, I want someone that does title that also can do cost seg when I need it and actually did something in this area and has an office in the state. Over time, Avery will be able to answer that question based on the information that people are sharing, which they want to share. Right? Every
Right.
time I close the phone, I want the world to know about it. But I don't want to spend every time I close a loan, I have to go to this website once a few $100s, this website $300. I'd rather find one place, keep uploading and talk to one place, and make myself accessible to Avery and to ChatGPT at the same time.
Amazing. So we do have a question from Jay here, and I'm curious as well. Can you demonstrate how you load in a deal through Avery and show how it builds a quick overview in the
Yeah.
deal stage yet, at
So,
the stage?
so this is the stage where no, right? Literally, where we're up to was 3 weeks ago, this idea was born. Okay, 4 weeks ago, something like that, 3 or 4 weeks ago, the idea was born. We just literally got the 20th person started to pay now. So now, my anticipation. So from we engaged my son to start the AI side, started to came on board last week to start building out. So you have Avery launched. So this part of it is launched. We have already the mock-ups already started to be written out. So how the mock-ups are going to be for the actual tracking. This is where we're up to right now. So that's why
Right,
some
we're in
people say,
beta,
yeah, I'd
very,
rather
very
pay
early
three, four, five
stage.
hundred dollars when it's built, or no, I want to be part of. I want to see it so I could influence it. It could help me in my business today. Because again, if you can do it anyway, might as well get information and benefit now. So from my end of it, everyone has a different style of how to do things, but in full transparency, I'm going to let you know where things are standing at this time.
Amazing. Okay, so we're literally in the very early, like super early building stages of this.
This is
And
it.
anyone who gets involved is going to be ahead of the game for sure.
But what's not the begin the part that's in now for everybody that's working now is everything to do with the Rolodex. That part is working live now. You go into Rolodex and the training of it, because that's the same. Avery has to be trained for those service providers and start linking the service providers to the actual clients. In other words, if GP Joe comes on board, GP Joe deals with Yona Weiss. Have to link him. So when he says order me Koseg, it should know I go to Yona Weiss. So that's what these are the things we're setting up while we're building out the other parts of it. And the best example I could tell someone, if you would engage a developer today to start building these tools, what do you have now? You're just starting, and every week you're getting a bill for hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars. Here, it's capped at a certain price, cancel anytime and move on from there. That's where it's at.
And it's being built, in real time every day. By the
Yeah,
more people
so
put in information, the quicker it's being built automatically.
yeah, so the question Jacob asked, the other question is, what is the timing of the launch? So the first payment someone's giving today, the next payment is November 1st. We anticipate sometime in beginning of October to start being able to show real tangible things that a GP could start using and seeing a clearer vision so they could decide before they make even the second payment if they want to make it. That's what it is. So the first payment, whenever they payment, and then this sort of thing. We anticipate. Obviously, I'm hoping something, but in the September month, it's my birthday, September 30th. I'd like to deliver something before that, but we will just be in October. So it's November 1st is when it's going to be is when I anticipate in the month of October to have things to actually show and they could see that vision. And again, at the rate people are signing up, if this continues also, we could add a lot more resources to the team. That's the idea. So the money's going at this point 100%, actually more than 100%. As I'm saying anticipation, we're taking some risk of extra, like we started a little earlier, even though we should have waited till the 20th person. We started earlier, the same idea. We're starting early.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, this definitely sounds very exciting. I'm honored to have had the opportunity to help with my platform to share this launch and wishing you, Ira, the best of success and all of us really, anyone who's getting involved, myself included, to really be part of something amazing new here. So like you said at the very beginning, this is not the future anymore, AI. This is the present, and we all have to be using tools. I know a lot of people are using all types of AI tools, but if you're not fully on board and integrating it into your daily tasks, then you are really being left behind. So I think this is a great tool to be using.
So I think that as people want to drop, they could drop. I think we could let people unmute if they want to actually ask questions. If it's not this way, it doesn't. Yeah, if you could turn that off. So now, Jacob asked the question, I'll answer it. Yes, Avery is in effect, it is ChatGPT. So Avery's actually like one of the things that I mentioned when a GP signs up, a GP is actually going to bring their API key from ChatGPT and it'll be their ChatGPT. So you'll be able to tell Avery, do me a favor, Avery, don't just answer based on what you were trained internally. Can you go out of the box? And yes, it'll be able to do that as well. But the starting point is going to be what we're training it. and you're able to tell it, go out of the box and get me an answer from. That's why on all levels and everything, like how you do due diligence. Like I know that you're trained to do due diligence step one, two, three, but do me a favor. Do you have any other ideas that you could go out and get me? And it'll let you do that. You'll be able to control the ideas. You should be able to control it, but you shouldn't have to have the burden of putting everything together like that.
Amazing.
So it's learning over time. It's like it's learning itself as we're
That's the
that's
idea, and it should because this part is the same way you steps you take, everyone else takes. The difference is you're going to pay $1 million for that building, and the person next to you only pay 950 or 1,050,000. But the steps, the knowledge is all the same.
Yeah.
So I truly believe AI is not replacing anybody, but AI, those that use it replace those that don't. So if you're now juggling 10 deals, now you can juggle 1,000 deals. You now have a broader knowledge. Think about also like comp information. You could say, Avery, out of every deal I looked at, what are the two-bedroom rents going in this area? What is the price per square foot? You could open up every rent roll and spit out that information for you. I mean, just think about the opportunities there. Now, one
well,
of the, yeah,
learn from ChatGPT some of the questions that have been answered. Meaning, is Avery learning from ChatGPT from questions that all the people around the world are
it,
asking?
it, it is ChatGPT.
It is ChatGPT, so it should have those
Yeah,
answers.
yes, it's just that, but you first want it sheltered so it doesn't make mistakes, and
Mhm.
it's controlled environment, less mistakes, and then you could tell. You can, in effect, in simple terms, you can tell Avery what does ChatGPT say. So even like I said, can you give me a service provider that does plumbing in Texas, but we don't have any service providers on the Rolodex, let's say. We'll say I don't know of anybody firsthand. Would you like me to have ChatGPT check for you? Like in theory, I'm sure if my son's listening, he's cringing because he's saying, no, that's not the way it technically works. But in layman's terms, that's the way it works. You know?
Uh,
So I could just, the more so to speak, one of the questions I have is what's going to happen by law if you get a deal in and you have an AI agent that signs the NDA, goes to that website, signs it, downloads it, who's liable? What happens if you upload it to ChatGPT and now it's out? Is that called a breach? These are questions no one has answers for. It's uncharted territories. So someone else came over to me and said, Ira, can we set it up? I get a ton of deals, and I'm going to train Avery that I wanted to log every deal, so I have it in my for search, but only the multifamily in this area I should care about. But there's other deals I don't care about. Can we work out some sort of swapping and make public idea with all other users that any deal that I'm not holding sacred, I don't mind sharing. It's not I don't care. So everyone should know, and they can ask questions on my deals also, so we will learn from each other. Well, what if I already did underwriting and I'm not passing on a deal? Can Avery like a lot of these things? It's like I give you an example. Jacob, you're looking at a deal direct from a seller. Avery's going to be trained that if you tell Avery, I'm passing on the deal, Avery will ask you, do you want me to introduce it to a local sales broker that he should know that that building is being sold? And then he'll potentially, at a best case, might give you a commission, referral fee, if you're allowed to. Or if you grease his wheels, when that broker has another deal, he'll push in your direction. The same way in real life I talk to you. So at trigger points, it's going to say, like right now, some people don't even know there's a concept of COSEC. So when a person's doing the underwriting, the deal doesn't work. What ideas do you have, Avery? Well, let me tell you what other people are doing. Why didn't you look into COSEC? Why didn't you look into this? It could start telling you what the other people are doing that's not proprietary. It's not proprietary because I don't want to be in the data in the data play. My game is give you the tools, and now when you have a mortgage, hey, you need a mortgage. Can I have transparency? That's really what my play is. Now you're right. It's going to run into an issue to me because at the same time, if there's a mortgage broker in Texas who fills this whole thing out there, no problem. I'm not going to tell Avery to not show that person. Now, will I say, listen here, in Texas, we didn't do a lot of business in Texas, but listen, at the end of the day, it's owned by us. Could you help me out? Like that's how I'm going to teach it the same way in real life I'll be talking to people. That's the goal is to teach it to sound human, sound like me.
And if anyone has any other questions, yeah, please feel free to reach out directly. Go to AveryGPT.com. Check out the AI Rolodex if you haven't yet. Sign up. Put your contact information in there. Start talking to Avery, and let's get this built.
One thing which I did forget. I can't believe I forgot it. Here's a story for equity raising. A GP could also go onto the Rolodex. Just like the GP has a website, a GP could go on and talk about himself. And when he's has a deal he's raising money for, he could talk about it. So someone could say, Avery, any deal any of your GPs are raising money for? Yeah, blank is raising money. So it's that if someone says, "Who is this GP? I want to find out more information." Again, the same way you could, however that GP represents themselves, could work the exact same way. Okay, thank you all. Thank you, Yona.
Pleasure. Thank you so much, Ira. Thanks everyone for joining. This has really been very insightful. Looking forward to see how this continues to be built over time. And have a great rest of your day, everyone. Take care.